7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey there guys, so with the release of Ghostbusters Afterlife, it was time to rank all the Ghostbusters films, and I know my list is pretty much going to be the same as everyone else from what I've been hearing, but it was still fun to go back and rewatch all the previous Ghostbusters films, watch this and rank them all and come up with my own reasons. So at last place is the 2016 reboot. No surprise there. This film does get too much hate than it deserves. But this film was just getting bad reception before the film came out. I remember when the first trailer came out for this, and it was probably the most hated YouTube movie trailer on YouTube, to a point they had to remove the dislike button for it. Now, I remember when it first came out, I really liked it. Watching it today, after 5 years, a few weeks ago, it's kind of it doesn't hold up. The story about the Ghostbusters themselves isn't far off of what they did with the original Ghostbusters. I mean, it has a forgettable villain. I mean, the film isn't that funny when you think about it. And the cameos, they were just so forced in. I mean, the four main leads have fun chemistry and they do the best with the material they got with. I think Chris Hemsworth is the best thing to come out of this film. I mean, the film really highlights his comedy side, and there's one really good action scene where they utilise different weapons, and I would like to see that more in just other properties of Ghostbusters. But I think this film, to me, it just loses its charm after one viewing. And number 3 is Ghostbusters 2, of course. I mean, this came out 5 years after the first Ghostbusters film. And it has the original cast, it has the same director, the same writers. Unfortunately, it doesn't do anything new or special. It does a lot of retreading from the first movie, which a lot of people don't like, and I don't like it. But it does have its moments, like the dancing toaster or the walking Statue of Liberty. But and at the start of the movie, the Ghostbusters themselves are a joke. I mean, they saved the city, but at this point they're performing at kids' parties. I mean, this was the film that really prevented Ghostbusters becoming a bigger franchise than it could be. It could have spanned into multiple eras, even though it kind of did, but it never really took off like some other films. But it is harmless at the end of the day. And number 2 is Ghostbusters Afterlife. And let me just say that there is a massive gap between my number 3 and my number 2. Ghostbusters Afterlife is one of my favourite films of the year. I mean, how do you do a sequel when it's like over 30 years after the first movie? Plus you've got Harold Ramis, who's no longer with us. Jason Reitman, son of the original Ghostbusters director Ivan Reitman, came along. He went for a completely different direction, a different story. It felt so fresh and new in this franchise, but at the same time it still has that Ghostbusters stuff that you love from the first 2 films. And this has comedy elements to it, but it's not really a comedy unlike the other 2 Ghostbusters films. This is probably the most emotional and heartfelt Ghostbusters film, and McKenna Grace carries the film. She is the star. Now, of course, my favourite Ghostbusters film is the one that started all Ghostbusters. I mean, the premise alone is just so unique. I mean, 4 middle-aged men starting a business catching ghosts. I mean, the film and everything about this film is just too perfect that I just couldn't change one thing. And the cast is just great, and they're used in such the right comedic way. I mean, the practical effects are just unbelievable, and on top of that you have the special effects with it, and it just takes it to a whole new level. And the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is one of the most iconic things in movies. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Go like, share and subscribe. Let me know, where would you rank all the Ghostbusters films? Go check out my Facebook, my Twitter and my Instagram page. You guys are awesome. I got your back.